The two rivals for the yellow jersey at last year's Tour de France have both suffered slow starts to their 2025 campaigns. A crash from Tadej Pogacar meant he could only manage 7th in Strade Bianche, won by fellow Slovenian Matej Mohoric. Jonas Vingegaard abandoned Paris-Nice, with Australian climber Ben O'Connor taking overall victory in France. Juan Ayuso, on the other hand, is in good form. The Spanish rider won Tirreno Adriatico and spent 5 of the 7 stages in the blue jersey of race leader. Further down the ladder, Belgian prospect Noah Peeters has completed a brief stint at the Intermarchè Wanty development team. Peeters has been recalled to the main team after an 8th place finish at the Tour of Rwanda. Team manager Ike Visibate said he was impressed with the 18-year-old's performance, but will not rush him into big races unless he continues to see rapid improvement. Next on the agenda for Peeters are the minor spring classics, starting with Milano-Torino. Into Milano-Torino then, and Peeters has done his job. He's off the back with 22 kilometres remaining, but his job today was just to hold the breakaway, and it was a fairly simple breakaway. Just Matteo Moschetti went up the road in the end, but Peeters did his job on the front of this race, and now it's over to his teammates to go and deliver. They're on the second to last climb of the day. They've just gone over it and are on the descent now, as Peeters does the same, just about still in the peloton. But now it is going to be the job of Biniam Girmay, because it's a flat finish in this race that Biniam Girmay could do very well on. Peeters trying his best to move back up the peloton to give Biniam Girmay just a little bit of help before the final sprint, and there is one hill left to go. So let's get to that point now. Girmay in prime position then towards the front of the peloton, but not right at the front. We're going to make our move now with Taco van der Poel now at the front of this race. Biniam Girmay on the wheel. Now that Moschetti's been caught and spat out of the back, it means there's no breakaway to catch, and we can just control the tempo until the start of the climb, where Biniam Girmay is going to push on but not necessarily attack. Let's go to that point now. Here we are then, Biniam Girmay rounds the right-hand bend and the climb begins. It's an immediate gap because we sprinted into the foot of the climb. Positioning is so important, and none of our rivals were really there. Now they're starting to move up though, with Philipsen, Mercer, Neilson Powless as well. Might be going for an attack actually off the front, as Alpecin Deceuninck are trying to control, but we're going to set our own tempo. Make sure we're following the wheels as the attacks are beginning to go now. Once again, I'm not going to react to these immediately, but Biniam Girmay is going to tuck himself in, and now, with Powless and Van Der Poel off the front, that is starting to worry me, so I'm going to see if Visma can try and shut this down with Laporte and Van Baarle, but they don't look interested in doing so. So I'm going to make the attack now. I'm going to try and fly past Van Der Poel and get to the wheel of Neilson Powless, use up all of the red on this particular climb. Powless wants to work. I have attacked him instead with Biniam Girmay, and now Girmay is onto the descent. In all honesty, I think I can beat Powless and Van Der Poel in a sprint, so I'm going to try and make this a sprint between the three of them and not push it too hard on this descent. So hopefully, by the time we get to the finish, Girmay can beat the 2 riders behind him, and the rest of the peloton in fact, because they're not too far behind. Approaching the foot of the descent then, and our 3-rider leading group have enough of an advantage to have a little play around on the final stretch into the last kilometre, because the peloton are too far behind, I think, for them to really get back to this trio, and Van Der Poel is deciding to press on. He is not happy with the lack of advantage that these 3 have got. Girmay and Powless choosing to stick to the wheel of the Dutchman, but Girmay launches his sprint now under the kilometre to go banner, and Mathieu Van Der Poel is struggling to follow. Neilson Powless electing to sit third wheel, but Girmay starting to tie up. Round goes Van Der Poel, round goes Powless, and he mugs both of them. Similar to Dwars door Vlaanderen in real life, the American gets the advantage in the sprint, sits on the back of the group, and takes victory here at Milano-Torino. Here is your result then. Powless ahead of Van Der Poel, and Biniam Girmay only having to settle for third despite leading into those final 500 metres. And to be honest, I was super confident entering that sprint with Biniam Girmay, perhaps too confident. Jasper Philipsen was 4th, 27 seconds down, and the best of the rest in Milano-Torino, with Michael Matthews rounding out the top 5. Despite not winning Milano-Torino, Van Der Poel perhaps was using that just as a tune-up race, because elsewhere in the MyRider world, he won Milano-San Remo, the important monument. But the Dutchman could not back it up at E3 Harelbeke as Niels Pollitt and Matej Mohoric worked together to beat both him and Wout van Aert, and it was Pollitt taking the win in Belgium. Finally, Mads Pedersen's solo effort was not enough to win Gent-Wevelgem as Mohoric, Pollitt and Matteo Jorgensen caught the Dane in the final 2 kilometres. A fresher Mohoric won the sprint to open his win account in 2025. And I don't think we'll be opening our win account at this particular race because it's our first invite to the cobblestones from our Intermarchè Wanty team, because we are going to Dwars door Vlaanderen and we are bringing an important team with it. The likes of Laurenz Rex and Biniam Girmay will be our leaders. Maybe Taco van der Hoorn could give it a try as well. Let's find out.
It's a race for true specialists, with its narrow roads, cobblestone hills and never-ending changes of direction. This Belgian classic only crowns a highly talented rider. The initial kilometres are relatively easygoing. It will no doubt provide an opportunity to see an early breakaway.
So we're already deep into the early stages of this race, and Peeters is surviving, but he's on to the first proper cobbled section of the day, and look at him sink through the pack. We're going to lose so many positions up this first descent of the Groupama-FDJ, and it's going to be a long race for Noah Peeters in his Intermarché debut on the cobblestones. We're just sinking through the groups. Hopefully we can join onto this second group behind and see if we can make it back to the peloton. But we're already out of the back. The breakaway is up the road. Van der Poel for some reason has decided to go off the front. And we've missed the breakaway. We didn't really want to be in it, to be honest with you. But the breakaway is strong, so that might have been a bad decision on my part. Either way, I've sank through that group like a stone. But we did make it back, albeit it probably won't be for long because I am totally out of energy now. And it will be the turn of Laurenz Rex, who I think is going to be our leader based on his daily form today. Rex is going to be our leader, and this is the last you're going to see of Noah Peeters on the cobbles, hopefully forever. But who knows what Noah Peeters could do in the cobbled classics later on in his career. But right now, we are nowhere near the level, as proven by everybody riding away from us. Now it is getting serious. We have missed a move, and it's a very high quality one. We've got the likes of Mohoric up there, the likes of Van der Poel. Niels Pollitt is trying to chase across in a second group on the road, and we're just going to try and get to the front, do our own tempo, and see if we can bring this back. It might have been a good idea to follow the move, but Visma Lease-A-Bike are pacing at the moment with Tiesj Benoot, which is a bit weird because they've got Laporte and Wout van Aert up there. But we will try our best to try to shut this down with the whole team, because we've got pretty much the whole team, bar Peeters and I think Rota, who is behind. So we've still got options to try and close this. Into the final 40 kilometres, and Rex is soon to be alone. He's just got Vito Bright with him, who takes the last pull that he can do, and Rex is going to be away on his own to try and chase this group down. And it looks like his chase will be futile. We have just about missed the group of 17 riders at the front of the race who are going to contest the victory here at Dwars door Vlaanderen. And in all honesty, I'm not too disheartened by this performance. Laurenz Rex is off the back then, but this is the battle for the win, and it's coming down to 5 riders. It was a group of 16, but now 5 are away at the front. Stefan Kuhn, you'd think, would not be the favourite in this group of 5 because he is with Matej Mohoric, Mathieu Van Der Poel, Christophe Laporte and Mads Pedersen. So the FDJ riders trying to do something, just pacing on the front, seeing if we can loosen the legs. But Van Der Poel elects to take this one up early on the right-hand side of the road. Everybody tucked in behind, but there goes Laporte. Laporte draws alongside Van Der Poel. Pedersen coming on the left-hand side. He's getting squeezed to the barriers by the Frenchman. Van Der Poel coming through the centre, and it's a dead heat. But Van Der Poel thinks he's won it. We're going to have to go to the photo finish for this one and the slow-mo replay. And here is the results then. Mads Pedersen is going to be disappointed with third, but on the bike throw, you cannot call it. Van Der Poel is celebrating, and he is correct to do so because he wins Dwars door Vlaanderen by the smallest of margins. In all honesty, I'd give Christophe Laporte a relegation there for a dangerous sprint, deviating off his line and endangering Mads Pedersen's efforts to get to the top step of the podium. But it's Mathieu Van Der Poel who takes the top step of the podium for Alpecin Deceuninck. There is the result then. Mohoric and Kung finishing 4th and 5th in the sprint, with Tratnik being best of the rest, Pollitt in 7th, and Sheffield, Campenaerts and Remco Evenepoel rounding out the top 10. The best we could get was 22nd with Laurenz Rex. We must improve. And I'm sure Noah Peeters will improve as well heading into the next episode, where we start to worry about the classics that we can compete in a little bit more than cobblestones. We should hope to go in breakaways for some of the upcoming races, but you're going to have to wait for that one in the next episode. Honestly, there is no schedule for this series. I'm just going to try and get as many episodes as I can out before I burn out, which is getting pretty close already. So leave a like if you want the series to continue. Drop me a subscribe if you haven't already, because this series is going to get to 5 episodes. We're going to do it. I can feel it. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.